Welcome to the National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. National Honor Society is an organization which impacts its members beyond high school. At this time, we would like to recognize anyone in the audience who participated in NHS. Please stand. Thank you. Now the Northeast Junior Air Force ROTC will present the colors. Please rise and remain standing for the pledge.
Post. Present. Arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms.
Thank you.
This evening, our speaker is Dr. Christine Hefner. Dr. Hefner is the Director of Library Services for Lincoln Public Schools, serving to support 59 library programs across the district. Prior to this, she taught as an elementary teacher and school librarian, a middle school librarian, and then for several years at the University of Nebraska-Omaha. Her work involves building library programs, empowering students to be curious, critical, and creative thinkers. Dr. Hefner leads the district in making sure all students have access to high-quality information and is a passionate advocate for making sure every school has resources that has and reflect the rich diversity of our learning communities. While not a Northeast Rocket herself, she married one and will have 4 children graduate from Northeast. This is a community close to her heart. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hefner.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this special evening. My name is Chris Hefner, and I'm the Director of Libraries for Lincoln Public Schools. In the big scheme of things, I am not such a big wig, but as a librarian and as an educator, I value what the National Honor Society stands for and the hard work that you've done to be a part of this esteemed organization, and I am honored to be here. When I was first approached about doing this speech, my handler, if she could be counted as such, suggested that I talk about the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. I can do this. I can look up the Merriam-Webster definition of each, and I can spout academia about what each should mean to you as scholars and leaders. I can do that. But because you hired a librarian for this gig, and because you are a captive audience, tonight we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, stories. If you would entertain me for just a minute, don't roll your eyes. You don't have to raise your hand, and you don't have to whisper to a partner or anything like that. But take a minute to think about the earliest story you remember wanting to hear over and over again. Was it read to you on the lap of a parent or a grandparent? Was it told to you while you lay beneath your covers in bed? Was it read with animated excitement by a teacher or a librarian while you sat together on the rug, librarian style? Or was it all yours? Was it something you accidented upon or discovered on your own and read and reread? Stories matter. The big ones, the little ones, the ones that shock us, and the ones that we revisit again and again. They shape our worlds in permanent and profound ways, even when packaged in simple characters doing simple, ordinary things. Stories help us define ourselves, and they help us define the world around us. There are a lot of kinds of librarians in this world, but I am, in particular, a children's librarian. And if there was ever a book that serves as a quintessential example of powerful storytelling in my world, it's Harry Potter, obviously. You initiates were born sometime close to the time that the 5th book, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, was published. So you probably don't remember the way people lined up at midnight and had worldwide launch parties. It was a spectacle. Not since then have we seen a book make the same kind of cultural impact as the Harry Potter series. Now, I imagine that most of you have read or watched or heard the Harry Potter stories in some format. For some of you, those might have been the stories that captured your earliest imagination. A few of you might have dressed up as Harry or Hermione for Halloween. But let's examine for a moment. What did we learn from Harry Potter? I mean, I can throw a good imaginary spell as well as the next guy, but what did Harry and his friends teach us in their stories? First of all, Harry taught us to choose our friends wisely. We learned that people aren't always what they seem, for the good and for the bad. We were shown how some of the most dangerous and harmful action people can take is really choosing no action at all. And while these stories are all rooted in fantasy, the lessons we take away from them are very real. For those of us that listened and lived the stories in our hearts, we took the lessons Harry Potter and his friends learned, and we applied them to ourselves. That's the power of stories. And when I ask you about the stories you remember as a child, what I'm really asking is, what are the stories that have shaped your worldview? Was it a boy with a purple crayon? A spider who spun words of wisdom? Maybe a rattle-trap car that didn't go fast and didn't go far? More importantly, now as we stand here and align ourselves with the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society, what are the stories that will help you make the shift from childhood to adults? Let's talk about character. We aren't born with character. If we are very lucky, we have good models and the kinds of life experiences that build strong character. But in most of our cases, we live pretty small and ordinary lives in a very big, extraordinary world. There are so many other lives and so many other experiences that can vicariously teach us how to live and who we want to become. Richard Peck, one of my favorite authors, who I cannot seem to get anyone to read anymore, wrote some of my favorite words. He said, "I read because one life isn't enough, and in the page of a book, I can be anybody. I read because the words that build the story become mine, to build my life on. I read because one of these days, I'm going to get out of this town, and I'm going to go everywhere and meet everybody, and I want to be ready." I love these words so much, I had them painted on the walls of one of my libraries. Stories, both real and imaginary, give us insight and direction into who we are and who we want to be. Now, you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't have the glimmerings of strong character, right? But you are half-baked, my friends. We all are a bit undone when it comes to character, because we can always understand more, empathize more genuinely, and evolve in how we approach the world and others. I just finished listening to this book by Frederick Bachman called Anxious People. It's this funny story about a bank robbery that's gone wrong and the hostage situation that followed. And there was this one line that made me stop and listen to it over and over again. It was this: "It had been a long day, but they had all heard one another's story, and that made it harder to dislike one another." They had all heard one another's stories, and that made it harder to dislike one another. When we take the time to know each other's stories, we are more likely to be kinder to each other, more compassionate, and also more capable of thinking complexly about the world and the people around us. This is how we grow. But building character does not happen passively. We have to invest in it. It's not by accident that someone grows into a human of character. And to be clear, I am not suggesting that you spend your whole lives with your nose in a book. I'm saying that you can be a better human being when you take the time to invest in the stories of people. Sometimes the easiest path is through books, but you can also watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, or conduct little curiosity-driven research of your own. There are lots of ways to lift the veil of our ordinary lives to uncover rich stories that shift our perspectives and grow our understanding of our world. And maybe the most important step is by making the time and taking the effort to know, deeply know, the stories of the people around you. I will never know what it is to be new in a country where everything is foreign and nothing feels safe. But I know there are kids here at Northeast who could teach me something about that. I will never experience what it is to be Black or Latina in Lincoln, Nebraska, but I can read and listen and make the effort to learn from my classmates and my colleagues so that I can be a better community member. But you gotta be careful here, my friends. Some people seek out stories that only confirm and reinforce what they already believe. It's a real thing. We call it confirmation bias. It's the phenomenon that happens when our brains naturally seek out information that confirms our beliefs rather than challenge what we think we understand. It's like the popular Elephant and Piggy book, where Piggy is convinced that he's this amazing baseball player, right? After all, when he winds up and he throws the ball, he throws so hard that the ball disappears from sight. Now, always the realist, Elephant, points out that the ball has actually fallen out of Piggy's hand just behind his back, and it's laying on the ground behind him. Piggy, however, true to character, is completely unfazed, newly convinced that not only is he great at throwing the ball, the evidence suggests that he's so great that he can throw it all the way around the world. That's confirmation bias. His brain only looks for explanations that confirm what he already believes. It's like the opposite of critical thinking. And it's a trap that the algorithms built into Google search engines and social media platforms reinforce. The internet uses the data it collects while we surf social media and casually look up information to not only sell us things, and we know it does that, but also to hide information from us that we might find uncomfortable or that doesn't align with the opinions and the beliefs that our clicks and our likes seem to support. Let's think about how dangerous this is, my friends. We don't actually decide what facts, information, or stories we see online. Some algorithm created by some coder somewhere else in the world is deciding this for us. And as a result, we are far less likely to be confronted with ideas or viewpoints that don't already match our own. You are sitting here tonight because A, you have worked hard, but also B, you are intelligent creatures. True scholarship demands that we don't settle for algorithms. I mean, fine for calculus and advanced mathematics, but as you launch yourself into this world, demand more for yourself. Cast a critical eye on the stories that both expand on what you believe and challenge you to think deeper about why things are the way they are and why people believe the way they do. This world is full of incredible, terrible, heartbreaking truth. But if we don't open our hearts and our minds to the less often heard stories, we're limiting ourselves to a very small chapter of a pretty boring book. Be the seeker, the sower, the consummate collector of words and stories that challenge who we are, that reinvent ourselves in our communities, and illuminate the extraordinary goodness that can exist in the most ordinary of places. The poet Maya Angelou wrote, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." In this, scholarship, leadership, and service are inextricably linked. You are the voices of your generation. You have the skills to make a difference in your school, your city, and your world. That is a hefty responsibility, my friends. And because of that, and because it is hard, it could be easy to do nothing at all. Don't do that. You were chosen to be here tonight, not just because you get good grades, not just because you have a big personality or a heart for service. You were chosen because your teachers and the adults in this school think you have the special combination of all those things. That's rare. That's special. And the challenge that goes along with this recognition is that you do something special with it. Membership in the National Honor Society shouldn't be about a bullet point on your college entrance application or another award to hang at your graduation party. It's a challenge to take the skills and the talents you've been recognized for and to do something bigger. Start with this. Find the words and the stories that matter to you. You probably won't find them within yourself, not yet. And you probably won't find them on social media. They're not there, not in depth. But one of the most important parts of discovering who you are and finding your voice as a leader is the search for the right words and the right stories on which to build your worldview. The choice is yours here. Your world can be as big and as interesting and as wonderfully complex as you make it. Put yourself out there. Sit next to a stranger in the cafeteria and strike up a conversation. Be curious. Read. Write. Listen. Challenge injustice. Find the thing that matters to you and research how to make a difference. Seek out the stories that will make you ask important questions and engage thoughtfully and joyfully in finding meaningful answers. Invest well, my friends. You're worth it. Thank you.
Member in the National Honor Society is one of the highest honors that can be awarded to a high school student. The National Honor Society has worked hard to bring accomplishments of outstanding students to the attention of parents, teachers, peers, and the community. Chapters in more than 13,000 schools across the nation strive to give practical meaning to the Society's goals of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. To demonstrate these pillars, this year's NHS has selected Relay for Life as our major service project. During this school year, we are raising funds through various activities to donate to this cause. Membership of the Northeast High School chapter of the National Honor Society is earned by the effective demonstrations of the 4 qualities held in high esteem by the Society. 4 current officers will explain the pillars of NHS. Character.
Ann Landers once noted, "The true measure of an individual is how he treats a person who can do him absolutely no good." Character is the force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality. Without it, no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, when once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in a reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example what we value character. Our chapter reflects high character in the expectations for each member. We participate in many activities such as Salvation Army bell ringing and volleyball, where integrity, honesty, and responsibility are mandatory with the collection of money. We also hold ourselves accountable for our actions at school and in the community as representatives of Northeast NHS. White is symbolic of purity and trust. Thus, it becomes symbolic of character.
Scholarship.
Nnamdi Ezekwe stated, "Originality is the true essence of true scholarship. Creativity is the soul of the true scholar." Scholarship means the commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Our chapter understands the importance of learning, and we promote scholarship through our high academic standards. In addition, we also provide peer tutoring each week to help other LNE students with their learning. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light which illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. Pink is symbolic of divine wisdom, value, strength, and an attribute to dignity. Thus, it is symbolic of scholarship.
Leadership.
The character Hopper in A Bug's Life states, "First rule of leadership, everything is your fault." Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources exist in a country, it is ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a substantive charge to each of our members. To this end, our members show leadership through action. We help lead assemblies, participate in other school activities, promote service projects, and take on leadership roles in the classroom. Purple is symbolic of power, the regal color. Thus, it becomes symbolic of leadership.
Service.
Booker T. Washington once noted, those who are happiest are those who do the most for others. Service can be described in various ways. During the routine of a day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. The willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without monetary compensation or recognition is quality we seek in our membership. Of all the objectives of Honor Society, service holds a place of distinction because it is the accumulation of all the other pillars. Character, scholarship, and leadership all have their place in a person's makeup, but they are all worthless unless they finally result in the act of service for others. Our chapter volunteers for many types of projects. Some of these include Mud Run, Pumpkin Run, Boo at the Zoo, Relay for Life, People City Mission Drive, and fun nights at different elementary schools. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow for our community. Red is symbolic of bravery, courage, and the call to serve. Thus, it becomes symbolic of service.
At this time, we are proud to introduce this year's NHS inductees. When your name is called, please stand throughout your recognition.
Dalton Adams. Dalton is a junior who has participated in Student Council, Science Olympiad, and track. He has served as a tour guide for Science Focus program. Rico Aldamari. Rico is a senior and has participated in Upward Bound STEM program, tennis, and soccer. Volunteers activities include food bank, Villarreal, and roadwork cleaning. Cooper Appleby. Cooper is a senior who has been active with Rocket Crew, Pershing Pals, and swim team. He has also volunteered with Heartland Aquatics as a timer for swim meets and is seeking new opportunities to serve. Madeline Burnett. Madeline is a senior and has participated in HOSA, soccer, marching, and symphonic bands, and basketball. Volunteer activities include Riley Elementary Treat Street, soccer club at Riley, and church activities. Malika Bodrum. Malika is a junior. She has participated in marching band, wind ensemble, Rocket Rowdies, track, and volleyball. She has volunteered as at Little Rocket Volleyball Summer Camp, Foster Care Closet, and with Mercy City Youth. Harley Demi. Harley is a junior who participates in Student Council, tennis, and cross-country manager. Volunteer activities include Hunger Drive, St. Monica's Amazing Race, St. Monica's Volleyball Tournament, and various church projects. Hammoum Darwish. Hammoum is a senior. She has participated in speech, soccer, basketball, and Civic Nebraska. Volunteer activities include Strive, peer tutoring, and with multicultural equality diversity cadre. Armani Dean. Armani is a junior who participates in marching and symphonic bands, show choir, and the anti-bullying club. Volunteer activities include multicultural equality diversity cadre, student diversity panel, and the friendship home. Ruby Edwards. Ruby is a junior. She's involved in choir, musical, and UNL Women's Festival. Volunteer projects include Norwood Park Science Fair, her church's nursery, and various projects with Girl Scouts. Jack Hefner. Jack is a junior who has participated in marching band, wind ensemble, soccer, tennis, and swimming or diving. Volunteer projects include Spring 2019 flood relief, annual community cleanup, and food net. Jameson Hogue. Jameson is a senior and has participated in soccer, football, always in uniform, Rocket Rowdies, and as a Mickle mentor. He has volunteered for Food Net, Center for People in Need, and various church projects. Joshua Hoff. Josh is a junior. He has been involved with JROTC, orchestra, cross country, and track. Volunteer projects include Good Life Havesy, Baton Death March Memorial March, Veterans Day Parade, and concessions work. Logan Hunt. Logan is a senior who participates in baseball and has volunteered with various community organizations with baseball. He's also been involved with the food bank. Kenley Kodemeyer. Kenley is a junior and has been involved with swimming, soccer, orchestra. Volunteers activities include Zoo Crew at Henry Dorley Zoo, Center for People in Need, various church projects, and Girl Scout projects. Lena Lee. Lena is a senior who has participated in basketball and peer meditation. Volunteer activities include youth basketball clinic, team tutoring, and various church projects. Alicia Leaf. Alicia is a junior. She has participated in dynamics, orchestra, and theater. Volunteer activities include Sail Camp and Apollo. She says NHS is a way to expand her service opportunities. Monty Meyer. Monty is a junior who is involved in basketball, tennis, show choir, and orchestra. He has volunteered with Pershing Pals and his church youth praise team. Kayleen Mehongos. Kayleen is a junior who is involved in show choir, color guard, musicals, and Jovan Noble. Volunteer activities include various activities through Tri-M and her church youth group.
Cameron Nielsen. Cameron is a junior who has participated in volleyball, GNST club, swimming. She has volunteered for Food Bank, Kids Against Hunger, Crop Walk fundraiser, and various church projects. Ashlyn Newhouse. Ashlyn is a junior. She is involved with student council, marching and concert band, and tennis. She has volunteered with Matt Tobolt Kitchen and the Kindness Project. Tracy Newen. Tracy is a junior who is involved in Upward Bound Asian Leadership Conference and tennis. Volunteer activities include watching children for different events. Blake Bruce Hansen. Blake is a senior. She has participated in student council, art club, cooking club, softball, and diving. She has volunteered with Make-A-Wish, Food Bank, peer meditation, and community Halloween events. Samantha Reed. Samantha is a junior who has participated in student council, Pershing Pals, and athletic training. Volunteer projects include Hunger Drive, Hallapalooza, and Make-A-Wish. Natalie Robbins. Natalie is a senior. She has been involved in marching band, honors jazz band, and swim team. Volunteer projects include Capital Humane Society activities. Hannah Robinson. Hannah is a senior who participates in Pershing Pals, Rocket Crew, Rocket Rowdies, and Star Strutters. She has volunteered for Good Life Havesies, Relay for Life, Boo at the Zoo, LPS Backpack Walk, and Highway Litter Pickup. Jordan Rogie. Jordan is a junior. She has participated in swimming and diving, symphonic band, and track. She has volunteered with activities through Salt Valley Construction and her church. Caleb Root. Caleb is a senior. He has volunteered with Isley Library, TCA Halloween Party, and Center for People in Need. He sees NHS as an opportunity to be more involved at school. Jack Stewart. Jack is a senior who has participated in football, baseball, and tennis. Volunteer activities include landscaping for community, concessions for events, and church projects. Isaiah Stone. Isaiah is a senior. He has been involved with UNL Math Day and has volunteered at St. Elizabeth's and Bryant East. Jaden Thompson. Jaden is a senior. She has participated in marching band, jazz band, show band, and track and field. Volunteer activities include concessions at various events. Isaac Torres. Isaac is a junior who participates in student council, cross country, track, and swimming. He has volunteered for various projects through student council and tutoring. Cindy Tran. Cindy is a junior who is involved with HOSA, student council, FBLA, Upper Bound, and track and field manager. She has volunteered for different projects through Asian Student Leadership Conference. Taryn Volkeski. Taryn is a senior. She has been involved with athletic training and swim team. Projects have included working for NASA and community building activities. Frank Vogt. Frank is a senior who participates in marching band, honors jazz band, wind ensemble, wrestling, track and field, and AFJO RTC. Volunteer activities include mud run, Special Olympics, and UNL concessions. Jackson Williams. Jackson is a senior. He participates in football, baseball, honors jazz band, wind ensemble, show band, and FCA. He has volunteered with Zoo Crew, ushering at Husker football games, various activities with Tri-M, and projects through Boy Scouts. Olivia Wolfgram. Olivia is a junior who has participated in Rocket Rallies and as manager for track and cross country. Volunteer projects include Hollapalooza, Meadow Lane Color Run, making masks, and watering flowers for Colonial Manure.
Will all candidates please rise and repeat the pledge after me? I pledge myself always to seek the light of truth, to hold scholarly habits, to engage in worthy service, and to lead forward in all things that shall advance the welfare of the school and the well-being of my community. You may be seated. Let's congratulate the new Northeast National Honor Society members. Thank you. Dr. Burks will now provide our closing comments.
Hello, my name is Darla Burks, and I'm one of the associate principals here at Northeast High School. I'm excited to be here with you all tonight, celebrating these amazing and accomplished young people. On behalf of the students, I want to thank you, family and friends, for being here and for your continued support of tonight's honorees. We know that your own support and modeling of these pillars have had an impact on these young people, and so for that, we thank you. I would also like to take the moment to thank our Honor Society sponsor, Ms. Candace Grease. Her willingness to serve in this role, her organization, and her mentoring of our students are critical to the positive experience that these students get to be a part of. So thank you, Ms. Grease. Finally, to you students, on behalf of the entire Northeast administrative team, we congratulate you. We're proud of each of you. We thank you for embracing and embodying the 4 pillars of Honor Society. Your positive character, your commitment to your academics, your dedication to serve others, and your overall leadership make you role models and change agents here at Northeast. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're influencing and impacting others. We look forward to walking alongside you as you continue to do great things and are leaders within the walls of Northeast and in the community in general. So again, we celebrate and we congratulate you. At this time, we would like to invite you to a reception in the Media Center. We ask that you please remember to social distance in the hallways as well as in the Media Center. And thank you again for being here, and enjoy the rest of your evening.